The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Lawrence. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
Here are Mickey Spagnola, Brian Broaddus, Rob Phillips, and Bill Jones.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another week of Talking Cowboys after a holiday weekend and after a Cowboys victory over the Redskins on Thursday. This is a Victory Monday that's actually a Victory Thursday around here, right? It's actually Thursday.
Glad you got your days straight.
Exactly right, because the New Orleans Saints are fast approaching on this Thursday.
The following.
Bill Jones, Mickey Spagnola, Rob Phillips,
We
and
are
Brian
following.
Broaddus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have
How
we
was your
not done
weekend,
it?
everybody?
Have we not done this for a week?
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
When's the last time we did a show?
Well, y'all did one Wednesday that I wasn't a part of, right?
I think that was the last one.
So it's been a week for you.
Yeah.
You
Seems
miss
like
us?
it. I do miss you.
Oh, no, it's
Yeah.
longer because you missed because Beltray.
That's right. It's been a full week. It has been.
Yeah.
Because Adrian Beltre retired. He
Let
up
that
and
other
retired
sports
as I
stuff
was-
get involved with our
Exactly.
talk here, huh?
Yeah, that's right. But how about them Cowboys?
Yeah, nice victory. Really nice victory. And it sets you up for this week. This is one of those things. You have to find a way now. We're at the point of the season where you just have to find ways to win these games. It's a banged up football team. You're playing one of the best teams in the National Football League. They're a complete team. That's not a one-trick pony, as they say. They've got a pretty good defense too to go along with their offense. So present a lot of different challenges. But it's time of year for that.
There's no time to pat yourself on the back, is there? There's not a 10-day break after Thanksgiving, and oh, by the way, you're about to face a team that's won 10 straight football
Yeah, the
games.
49ers aren't showing up this week.
No.
Neither is Texas Tech, right?
Nope. They struggled down the stretch.
Yeah. Well, we're staying topical, I guess. Yeah. They made a coaching change up in Lubbock.
There's ways to win these games, and you just got to figure it out and see. This is a good credential check right now.
Well, and then you sort things out after Thanksgiving weekend. In the NFC East, you got the Cowboys and the Redskins at 6-5, and the Eagles come from a 19-3 hole yesterday to beat the Giants, and they're sitting there at 5-6. I mean, I saw that score 19-3. And in the first half yesterday, I said, well, the Eagles have given up on their season. And then they came back and win. And then you look at the standings, and they're a game out of first place.
Yeah. And then
They come in here next week.
Exactly. Yeah, and they've got a Monday night tilt, I believe, with the Redskins before that.
Yeah.
So
Big game.
we'll see how that all plays. But
And things are bunching up in the NFC, by the way.
Yeah, and then you look at the wild card.
Seattle, Carolina, both teams you've lost to are both 6-5 now too.
You've got 4 teams 6-5, one 6-4-1, and one 5-6.
That game last night was huge, obviously, for wild card purposes. And I think they said on NBC they had some kind of math that said if the Packers losing, they've got a 2% chance to get in now. And Minnesota's got like a 73% chance.
Who figures these
I
things
can't
out?
stand that stuff.
Who figures this out?
Well,
Like
Is
during
it
the
a
course of the
computer?
game, you get stats that say, well, now the Cowboys have a 73% chance of winning this game.
I thought
because they
that
took a
in
touchdown
College
lead to the
Station the
fourth
other night too.
I mean,
Me too. Me too.
3 weeks ago or
Yeah.
3 games ago, the Cowboys had like an 8% chance of making
Yeah.
the playoffs. Now it's 64%.
It's all analytics.
Why?
Y'all sound like you're from the dark ages.
Why would you believe it?
But
Did you believe the 8%?
It's based on math.
Yeah, it's based on
the
math.
other teams that have done
Yeah.
it before.
Well, then these aren't other teams, though. This is different.
Right.
Hi,
That's
King
why there's
Garrison.
a
How was your
50% chance
weekend?
of them being wrong.
Hi, Kent Garrison. How was your
Hey,
weekend?
guys. It was wonderful. How was y'all's?
Anyway,
Okay, do we need to
I
get-
was trying to, in a way, make his point. That was a big game, big swing. Now you've got some teams fighting to get in. The Cowboys, again, I think they're still in the same boat they've been in. They need to win their division. Just take care of business here in
Get
a
you a
weak
home game for
division
sure.
and get you a home game. And don't worry about, because Carolina's lost 3 straight now, but they still have a win over you. I mean, Seattle has a win over you. So just go take care of business.
Speaking of these analytics, what was the Aggies' chance of winning that game against LSU when on the 4th and 18 pass play, the guy wound up a yard short of the first down?
It's 1.2%, I think, yeah.
You just gave them an opening, you know.
Kent had that one ready. Sorry, Brian. I'm sorry.
Texas A&M played well in the overtime period. They played much better than LSU did. They really did.
You know, that was
one play better.
That was 1 2-point conversion better.
One play better. What
were you waving your gold and purple flag for? What's going on here?
I just like things to be honest.
Okay.
And accurate.
Oh, okay.
There was no
Thieves
accuracy.
from College Station. Got it.
There was no accuracy in that game.
Okay.
It
was a great game, and I'm
Congratulations.
glad you guys had a good trip.
I was going to wear my white hat today.
That was a great game, but if it was a Big 12 game, it was how come these teams can't play any defense?
That's right.
It's true. That's true.
It's true.
There was no defense involved there at the very end, for sure.
Yep.
But no, speaking of defense, you better play defense this week against the Saints.
You got a Big 12 team coming in.
Yeah, you got a team that's. This is going to be interesting because I don't think they've seen a team, and I'm not saying something you folks already don't know out there. This is a team that stretches you horizontally to make plays vertically,
right?
Which is they create a ton of space in the way they operate their routes, the way their offense. This is one of the best offensive lines that I've seen. Of the games. I mean, I'm talking about a lot of games of watching offensive lines play. This one right here, they got it. They've got this thing figured out, and they're never on the ground. Their running backs run hard. The receivers do a great job. They have tight ends that get involved, and they got a quarterback that knows how to get them the ball. So that's what I'm saying. Get ready. They stretch you horizontally to play against you vertically. Be ready for that game today.
And they give you, and you got a quarterback who gets everybody the ball.
Yeah, exactly right.
Even guys you never heard of.
Yeah, they do that.
Has that ever happened? What we saw on Thanksgiving with their game, 4 undrafted free agents with 4 touchdowns in the win over Atlanta. I mean, when you're rolling when that's happening, you know.
Yeah, if you look at Philadelphia won a game yesterday playing with a bunch of banged up secondary guys too. I mean, there's sometimes you just have to play with these guys and it works out. Well, think about Cam Fleming playing the other day for you.
Yeah,
we haven't always been very positive about Cam Fleming and his. And like, oh, geez, and really during warm-ups, hey, Cam, by the way, you're playing today. Oh, wow, okay, yeah, sure, I'm in there, and you got 2 guys on that left side. So, yeah, sometimes you get performances from people that are unique.
Sure.
But that goes to show you, though, the scheme that they have, the ability to plug players into their scheme, and the way that allows the quarterback to execute the scheme that they have there in New Orleans.
Pretty impressive.
Just don't want to play too long with those guys because then the next team sees what they can and can't do.
They get exposed.
And then they get exposed.
They still have that quarterback, though.
Yeah.
No. I'm saying I'm referencing Cam Fleming.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking the Saints.
I'm referring Xavier Ciafilo, who looked like the first game was really good. The second game, So now you got a beat on what Cam Fleming can do and can't do, and how the Cowboys were trying to cover him up.
I gave him help
with
question.
a tight end over there, with Brown kind of motioning over there, and it wasn't just him on an island like they sacrificed Chaz Green.
They learned their lesson.
Right, that's a good point.
Gold star and cookie for the coaching staff for that ability to make that adjustment and not allow somebody in that game, because it could have been very difficult for them. If you talk about Preston Smith and you talk about Ryan Kerrigan over there, and maybe you get a Jonathan Allen come walking out there a little bit, you got to worry about those things.
Fill the novice in on who makes the call on something like that from an offensive coaching standpoint, as far as giving help to a left tackle. Is it?
Yeah,
it's in concert.
There was not a lot of practice time last week.
Right. That's the thing. But even like going back to Atlanta last year, who is it that ultimately makes the call on, okay, we got to give this guy help over here?
I think the offensive coordinator does. I think the offensive coordinator, if he's calling the game, he has to tell the offensive line coaches, hey, I still want to get to this. And then the offensive line coach then has to remind him, okay, if you get to that, I'm going to have help for that guy. If you expect him to block
Right.
Player
I guess
X
my question
one-on-one,
is how much on the fly during the course of a game does that conversation go on that, hey, we got to get help over there, and then
I think it's with your own eyes.
Yeah.
I think it's with your own eyes. See, and I don't mean to harken back to the LSU A&M game, but A&M LSU was way too late of getting Greedy Williams, one of the best corners in the league in college football, over on Rodgers. They never. I mean, Rodgers started killing him in the overtime period. And Dave Aranda's adjustment should have been, okay, I'm playing a 25-yard field. I've got to get my best player on their best player right now and try and stop this. And he never got to that until it was way too late in the game. And I think coaches are like that. You don't want to wait too late. You're going to think, hey, if we're going with this guy, I've got to have this guy some help. I can't. I've seen him not perform at a level that is acceptable. I need him to have some help.
And to Mickey's point, give credit for them making that adjustment somewhat on the fly, because it wasn't like last year in Atlanta with Chaz and all that. I mean, they thought Tyron was starting that football game.
No question.
I mean, I think Cam Fleming told us he walked in after warm-ups and they said, you're up today.
Oh, by the way, yeah.
So, and they made a schematic adjustment. They weren't going to do that with Tyron if he was good to go.
Right.
I mean, they would let him take his guy.
Yeah.
So the big takeaway from the Redskins game, as far as what, since we haven't had an opportunity to talk about that game yet, what was it that impressed you the most about what the Cowboys did in that game?
I think that the way that they went, they gave up the 4 sacks early in the game in the half, and then came back and didn't give up any. I think that was a really big key in this game. It looked like there could potentially be some problems in the second half, but the defense did a great job giving the offense some opportunity with some turnovers and things. I really do like what I saw from, again, the left side of that offensive line. It wasn't pretty over there, but at least they got things done against a very difficult defensive line, difficult defensive front. And you got what you needed out of Zeke running the football. And, again, Amari Cooper, what do you need to say about that?
They raised the hurricane flag with Amari Cooper. It was like the touchdowns were great, but it's the warning going forward. You want to blitz, you better get there. You want to, stuff the line of scrimmage to stop the run, you better have a corner that can stand up for however many plays you got to play man-to-man against Amari Cooper. Because if you make a mistake, he might go 90 yards on you. And so I think that and it was the thing that Sanjay Lal talked about. He said, I don't know how productive he'll be, but his presence will mean a lot. Well, I think his presence will mean even more now that you've seen the production.
It's helped out Zeke a lot. There's no question about it. Just his presence for the running game. To me, the thing that stood out is they had 3 players in the game, all Pro Bowl type level, that just took over the game. Zeke took over the game. Amari took over the game. DeMarcus Lawrence continues to have such a huge impact on what they do defensively, not just rushing the passer. He's just relentless back there, and I thought those 3 guys played at that type of level and kind of mitigated, like what Brian said, the strength of that Washington team is their defensive front, and they kept him in it for a while. But I think the talent took over for Dallas in that game. It was really impressive.
And I thought that the mental toughness of the team for the 3rd straight game, after they lacked mental toughness in the Tennessee game. Remember, in the 3rd quarter of that game, it was a tight game, and then Tennessee just kept on. And Tennessee wins the game. And the Cowboys, I mean, it almost looked like they were done for the season at the end of that day. And for the 3rd straight week, the Cowboys had a game in the 3rd quarter where it was either tied or they were behind. In this case, they were behind 13-10, and that's when they kept pressing and they took over the game. And at winning time, they made the plays they needed to make to take control of the game.
No, absolutely. I think Rob hit the nail on the head with the thing with Lawrence too. You look at the play. I mean, here they are. They try and chop him down at the edge. It was the second time they've tried to run that play, and he was up to the task the second time, and for him not to be cut down in that situation with the ball going to the outside and make the play he did, it's, we talk about turnovers though, and the Cowboys are getting their hands on turnovers. I mean, that's one of the things that we've kind of, unfortunately though, with the Woods, I wish he would have just been a little bit more aggressive inside to get that one, but. At least they're getting their hands on footballs, and I think that's, Wouzier, that was a tough chance off the tip ball of Van Der Esch, but again, at least they're getting their hands on footballs to try and create some turnovers.
It's you hope it's the start of a trend if you're Dallas, right? Because I think in this game, more than anyone, I think you kind of spoke to it in the Atlanta game, but this one's at another level.
Yeah.
You got to create extra possessions. It's like arena football. So the team that's got the most possessions and can get 1 or 2 stops is going to probably win this football game Thursday. So can you give Dak the ball 1 or 2 more times? You're probably going to have to do that in this game.
You just got to make plays.
Well, that too.
Right?
That too.
I mean, defensively, offensively, you can have all the greatest schemes in the world, but sometimes I'll guarantee you they didn't scheme a 90-yard touchdown pass, right?
No.
You got to make plays in this league. You can't just keep grinding and going 80 yards and 15 plays. Sometimes you just got to make a big play. And that's why you have great players or good players. They got to make those plays along the line. And if you don't have anybody who's going to do that, you're going to get beat. So they made plays.
Because the longer you have the ball and the longer you're trying to drive,
something bad's going to happen.
There's
right?
more of a chance of that. Yeah,
Yes.
the odds go up.
Got to make a play.
Yeah.
So what happened over the weekend for you guys? Anything big?
We worked on Friday and Sunday.
So there was no weekend.
Saturday. We had Saturday.
You had college football Saturday.
Yeah, we
right?
did. We
right?
did.
Nothing else big happened for anybody? I became a grandfather for the 3rd time.
There you go.
I was wondering where he's going with this. I was thinking none of us got
James
married
Collins
or anything.
Griffith III.
Well,
I don't know if you can see him
congratulations.
on
There you
my
go.
little camera right there. I'm not sure. But anyway, born on Saturday at 4:18. I've got
AM or
3
PM?
grandsons now, PM. We got a call on Saturday morning that my daughter Jessica was going into labor.
There you go.
And so
Congratulations.
we spent all day on Saturday at the hospital, and he arrived at 4:18.
Congrats.
Unbelievable. I mean, just the miracle of childbirth.
Did that cause you to miss football or anything?
I got home in time to watch 74-72, the 7 overtimes on Saturday night, basically.
And
So,
Friday night was your big night to watch.
Yeah. That was 59-56.
I thought you were going to say, another Big 12 title game berth. Like, no, it's a little bit different kind of berth.
That's right. There you go.
A little bigger
Yeah.
news than that.
That was, yep. So we're trying to get him ready in time to go to AT&T Stadium on Saturday and check out the biggest OU Texas game ever.
Oh, there you go.
Because the stakes are
Last time they
conference
played twice in the same season, 1911?
Like 1903 or something.
Oh, really?
Like
Okay,
that.
I knew it was something like
I
that.
wasn't at that game, or either one of them.
Bill was at that time. Bill was watching the birth of a grandson, and I was taking a turkey out of a smoker.
At 4:18 on Saturday.
Yeah.
All right, we continue on Talkin Cowboys, and we take your phone calls when we come back.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in 1 lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
A man's Stetson doesn't just protect him from life's elements. It projects an unstoppable and legendary spirit, just like the men wearing silver and navy on the field every Sunday. Since 1865, Stetson hats are American-made with pride right here in Texas. They are still the official crown of all self-respecting cowboys. And Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find Stetson hats in the Pro Shop or at Stetson.com today.
Dr. Pepper is the one you crave. But how do you explain that craving?
Imagine being shipwrecked on a desert island, alone. Glass-like curls of surf pound the shore with Dr. Pepper-colored waves. Surrounded by desire, but you can't drink it because it's the ocean. Fish live in there. The only thing you want is Dr. Pepper, and you can't have it.
Now that is a Dr. Pepper craving. Dr. Pepper, the one you crave.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Tommy John time, fellas. Adjust your cleats, adjust your pads, even adjust your helmet, but seriously, don't adjust your underwear because once it's been seen, it cannot be unseen. Mickey, that's a lesson to you. Tommy John has a contour pouch to nestle the boys and moisture-wicking fabric to keep you cool and dry on the field or in the stands. Tommy John, no adjustment needed. Shop exclusive Cowboys underwear at TommyJohn.com/Cowboys for 20% off your first order. That's TommyJohn.com/Cowboys.
They got holiday specials going.
Yeah, I saw that. The other thing about
specials.
that, holiday specials.
And you know what? Our reads are much better than the national reads I heard on the radio.
That's good.
That was that read that kind of combines. I thought Mickey was combining two reads the other day. Was that the one?
But that's just the read?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Mickey was just kind of combining reads just to kind of 2-for-1 sale today, kind of deal.
You got to change things up.
It's the actual read, right?
It's the actual read.
Yeah, okay. Very good. What do you got, Bill?
The Star District offers over 30 restaurants and shops
Really?
at the Dallas Cowboys-themed campus. It is the perfect place to shop, dine, and bring the whole family. For more information on all that the Star has to offer, visit thestardistrict.com.
Boom!
I just
great
ate
restaurants.
at another one that I hadn't eaten at before.
Oh, yeah? Which one?
Friday, East Hampton.
The
I
sandwich
love
shop.
East Hampton.
Excellent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you have the
Great sandwiches.
chowder?
No, I decided I was going to treat myself that I was working on a Friday, and I missed Thanksgiving at home, and I got the crab sandwich.
It's excellent.
Oh,
It's
my.
great. Yeah.
They've got that figured out over there.
Wow.
There's a Thai food place over there, too. It's really good on the other side of Canes. You need to visit if you like that stuff.
We welcome you back here to Talkin' Cowboys.
We're talking food.
And baby pictures.
By the way, did you hear the big news out of North Carolina this morning?
Yeah, Mac Brown back.
Mac Brown
That
is
was
the
true
new
yesterday,
head coach
huh?
at North Carolina, I hear. And I also hear that James is in North Carolina, and he is next up here on Talkin' Cowboys. Hello, James.
Hello, James.
How you doing?
Good.
Great.
No, I just wanted to say, basically, I watch your show. I've been a Cowboys fan ever since I was 7. I'm 55 now. And watch your show religiously or watch the break religiously. Always been trying to get on, but never get on. But now I finally got on this morning. I just want to say the game Thursday was great. I loved it. Dak played an awesome game. I do know that, I heard a lot of rumors last year that Dak would see what Dak was basically without Zeke and everything else. If you go back in the 90s, Troy wasn't that good either. Emmett sit out 2 games. They lost the 2 games. So it's not just basically, a quarterback can't be good without a running back because you got to have both of them. And I think Dak is playing awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
It is
much.
a team game.
Sure.
How about Dak's performance on Thursday?
You can't beat it when you make plays, right?
He's playing with a lot of confidence right now.
Yeah, he is.
Well, third down's been so much better for him. He's actually got guys that get open. I think that's a big help. You look at what happened early in that football game. What did he do? Go at Amari Cooper. You throw the ball where a guy can separate and not have to make a bunch of tight window throws. Those are the kind you want, where just you and the receiver are playing pitch and catch, not with some quality defensive back hanging on a guy trying to make it a throw, 2 inches here, 2 inches there. So, yeah, good for him. He's got a guy he can throw the football to.
First and second down have been a lot better. Zeke's continues to run really well. That helps Dak out. We keep talking about the down and distance. That's a huge factor. He is playing more confident, I think. He just seems more comfortable back there. It wasn't a perfect first half by any stretch, and they miss an opportunity in the red zone again, and it's like, oh, here we go again. But I think there's a trust factor with Amari Cooper right off the bat, I think, and it kind of speaks to what Brian said. He just trusts this guy's going to get open and separate, and he is. And the main thing is his run after catch ability. The guy's a home run threat, and I don't know if they've had that since Dez was, really in his prime.
Yeah, a lot of his drops, at Oakland, where we were talking about when he was doing just what he was doing, taking the football and trying to get north-south quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's when it was a couple of concentration ones, but people were like, he drops the ball all the time. No, he drops the ball because he's trying to just run. He's trying to take a 12-yard gain and make it a 90-yard gain. That's why, and that's what football players do. That's what great football players do.
And that's what started to get Dez in trouble.
Yeah.
Trying to run
before he could catch the ball.
And then his son oh, that's a drop.
Yeah.
Well, okay, but let's read into it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Exactly.
You know, he said something interesting. Amari did a couple weeks ago, and he's an interesting guy. Like, he's quiet, but he'll give you some real insight, you know? I just thought it was interesting the way he put it. He said, my job as a receiver is to get as open as humanly possible with my routes. So Dak just has to throw it somewhere within the vicinity of my route, and I'll go get it. And it was a simple statement, but it really speaks to just how precise he is as a route runner. You know, I think he takes that very seriously. And you see these routes that he's running, yeah, they're big plays, but he's also putting himself in a spot where Dak just has to get it there.
He runs routes. And I was trying in my head, and I wrote about this after the post game from the Scout's Eye. He does something in his route I have never seen other receivers do, and it's his ability to he could drive a guy off, but if he's going to have to break, he turns his body sideways to where most guys will have to go and then settle their weight and then plant and go. He could run and turn himself sideways in whichever direction he wants to go. So he opens up to the side he's going to break to, or if he's going to break the route inside or out, he just turns his body that way, and instead of having to stop and then break. So, I mean, you can watch him. I'll show you guys on tape one day if you want to come and see it, but he'll run and he'll just turn, and the defensive back still thinks he's going forward. And then he's right into his break because his hips are already opened up to where he can plant and go where he needs to go. And that buys him a little bit more. I mean, that's why he was able, you know, you look at what he was able to do against the Redskins, you know, against their cornerbacks. I mean, and he's done it a couple of different times. So it's a technique thing. You talk about pride in route running and all that. Boy, he's just got really good technique that
which
helps
gives him more quickness to get separation.
It gives him much more ability to get open faster than it does like the normal guy that has to run, chop his steps, settle his weight, and then plant and go.
So if you look at, I forgot which touchdown it was, the DB fell down.
Yeah.
He didn't fall down because he had bad footing. Yeah. He fell down just because of what Brian said.
Yeah.
His route was so good, the DB couldn't turn the way he turned. He had him going out, and when he tried to go back in, he slipped and fell. It was the route. It wasn't the guy falling.
He got separation on Josh Norman, which is not easy. Now, Josh Norman isn't Carolina Panther Josh Norman anymore, but Josh Norman is a guy that usually can stay with you and is really good at reading routes. Amari had him a little bit playing on his heels, and I think that's where, like I say, I'll show you guys one time if you want to see the way he's kind of able just to open his hips and still maintain speed and then get inside or get outside just because of the way he positions his body.
You know, that was one of the drills Sanjay had him doing in training camp, and I was like, what are they doing? Because he was trying to teach them how to sink their hips when they turn, and so he was making them put their hand on the ground.
Right.
And I go, that's not the way you're going to do that in the game, is it? And he goes, no, but he goes, the idea is to get them to feel how to sink your hips. And if you put your hand on the ground, you have to sink your hips when you're going to make your break. And he doesn't need to put his hand on the ground. He understands
it's
how
incredible
to do
balance,
it.
to be able to do that.
It's rare when you have a receiver that can run routes at the same speed and never change. Miles Austin, I know Jason Garrett was talking about, Miles Austin had that ability to run routes at the same speed. If he was running at you, he could run his route at the same speed, make that cut and not have to settle weight. That's where defensive backs understand when they're watching and they're playing you. They see you start to sink, and once they see you sink, then that's their cue to drive or for them to sink and then go with you. So.
I think you find great running backs are able to do that. You know, the fast running backs.
Yeah.
And in fact,
Kamara.
He's one. Yeah.
You know what's interesting? There was something about Felix Jones in that when he made cuts, whatever, you know, and then I think he got hurt later, you know, and so he busted as an NFL player.
Right.
But when he came into the league, he had that on a break where, and similar type of what you're talking about, I think.
Right. No, it's the way these receivers get separation now, and the really good ones have the ability to sell where they're going, or sell a different idea and not give you a read. And Josh Norman, I think Josh Norman is one of the best that's ever played. And Amari Cooper had him guessing, hesitating, and that's what you have. When you get that hesitation, then you get the separation.
And he's kind of the unwide receiver when it comes to his personality. Rob's right. He doesn't say a heck of a lot, but when he says something, you ought to pay attention. Yeah. Which made me think, which touchdown celebration was more surprising? Because his, I didn't think he had a free throw. Seriously?
It wasn't just a free throw.
I know. Go ahead.
It was the Markelle Fultz, which I feel, the juggle thing.
That's
which I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Fultz, because if you watch the NBA, he's really struggling. He's got like a mental block with his jump shot, and somebody has told him to just juggle it like this to get your mind off your form and then just put it up.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's working or not.
That's what my son.
It's unique.
Yeah, Bennett goes, that was a great celebration that Amari had. And I said, he just shot a free throw.
That was my take.
He goes, he was trolling Fultz. That's what he was doing.
He was kind of trolling.
And I go, what do you mean? He goes, have you ever watched Fultz shoot a free throw? He goes, he juggles the ball now. And I go, oh, that's what that was.
We got to watch more basketball.
I think so. Yeah.
No, this is like a Chuck Knobloch kind of thing with this young player for Philly, the Sixers.
Like he's missing them all?
He has this hitch in his shot, like he can't. It's almost like he's forgotten how to shoot his normal form, and maybe he's hurt
yips.
too.
He's got yips.
But anyway, Fultz acknowledged it on
Charles Barkley. He acknowledged the celebration.
Did he really?
Yeah, and he took it in stride. It was all
these
good.
free throw shooters. It's simple. All you got to do, you bounce it 3 times, you bend your knees, and you shoot. That's it.
But that's what's
Tell
fascinating
LeBron
about
and
this.
You could have made a lot of money teaching
it, right?
That's how former Dallas Chaparral Cincy Powell taught me as an 8-year-old.
Well, he should have got a hold of Shaq then.
He should have. I wish I could have got a hold of Shaq. I could have made a lot of money.
Isn't LeBron a bad free throw shooter?
No, he's okay. He's okay.
For some reason, LeBron had some trouble.
Well, Shaq he would change his
you got to stay in rhythm.
Form every time.
That's why you dribble 3 times and then you shoot. You're in rhythm. It's like a 3-point shooter. You got to be in rhythm to shoot.
So how strong do you think Zeke is that he picked Dak up? Dak's not light.
No,
by the way.
No, he's 240. Right.
I kind of wish he wouldn't have picked him up.
I don't think Dak was expecting that.
That was an untimely. But I'll
well,
tell you
that
what,
was an important.
The coverage was not great either, though. That I went back and watched that, and there was a couple of guys got out of their lane badly on that play on the way. I mean, when they took the ball right up the middle, and it kind of sucked everybody in, and then when they bounced it, there was nobody on the outside other than. Rod Smith is not fast enough to take a returner like that, and then luckily Jeff Heath playing safety did his job, but that was a bad situation. That ball was only kicked to the 11, and then you think about the penalty, not a good situation.
One more thing on the Amari celebration. The best part of that was the offensive lineman standing on each side, like going for a rebound. And Joe Looney, if that was a basketball game, he would have been lane violation.
Did he jump in?
He was bent way over. He had his foot over the line, but I don't know. That was good.
They don't call that anymore, do they?
No, they don't. Pretty good. Not as good as the limbo last night with Minnesota. That
was good.
That might take the cake.
Okay, we got all these celebrations going on.
Minnesota does some good ones. Did they do bobsled one time?
Did they?
Then they were all like they were in a bobsled during the Winter Olympics. It was pretty. Minnesota comes up with some creative ones.
Wait, what's wrong with going into the Salvation Army kettle if we're going to do the bobsled and we're going to do the free throw and we're going to do all this other stuff with an imaginary ball?
But let me ask you
I
this.
have no idea.
Or getting $21 handed to you.
Yeah.
If you're
like popcorn, ain't it?
Let me ask you this: if you're Jason Garrett, do you ask that the kettles be removed from the field?
All you got to do is you don't have to
put
remove
a top
them.
on the kettle?
You don't have to remove them from the field, but you could put them on the sideline.
Yeah, so people can run into them.
No, so you could do it.
You go to the Cowboys sideline, and then you're jumping in, and now you're not.
So technically, if they just moved them around the corner, then it would be the sideline.
You could keep those prominently displayed and get additional ones on the sideline.
Well, guess what?
On the Cowboys sideline.
I'm.
I have your attention, please.
Oh, what?
This was a false alarm.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
This show is a false alarm.
So when I was headed to the locker room, Jerry was leaving, and I said, you might want to put those those kettles up on a stand.
Yeah, so players can't get to them.
And he looked at me. He goes, "Why would I do that?" He goes, "Do you see how much attention that drew for the Salvation Army?"
I love the attention, but I don't like the kickoff return being brought back.
But then he prefaced it going. He goes, "As long as it turns out the way it did."
Yeah. We had a family discussion about this, and my daughters and wife were saying, "Well, it's doing so much good for the Salvation Army. You got to keep doing it." I said, "No, it's a penalty."
Yeah.
If you have a 15-yard penalty, and I'm all for jumping in the kettle. I'm all for changing the rule.
What's the difference?
And make it like the Lambeau Leap.
What's the difference between the two?
That's what I'm saying. I think you call the league and say, "Look, we're raising X amount of dollars for this wonderful cause.
Right.
Just let it go."
Right.
I mean, seriously.
Well, did you hear how
it's only for a
Jason-
month out of the year.
How Jason answered it finally? Was it the next day? When was that at
Conference
the game?
call?
He said no. It was at the game, and he said, yeah. He goes, we're going to have to be careful, and then he goes, and then maybe the NFL needs to rethink things.
Exactly.
Did he say that?
Right.
Yes.
Yes,
right.
he said it.
He's
he said it.
absolutely right.
I asked him about it on the Jason Garrett show after the game, and he said you need to start a letter writing campaign to the NFL to get this rule changed.
Because what did they used to call it? The no fun league, right? And so now you got all these cool celebrations, but you can't do
Or
something
goofy.
Whatever.
Go ahead.
But you can't.
No, some of them.
But you can't do it in the name of charity.
Yeah.
Like that's come on. Let's just realize what we're doing here.
Jump in a kettle, jump in the stands. What's the difference?
Well, that was grandfathered in, wasn't it?
I was there for the first one.
At Lambeau?
First Lambeau Leap.
The first one.
Who did it?
It was Leroy Butler. He got an
interception.
Reggie White recovered a fumble. He pitched it to Leroy Butler. Leroy Butler ran it the rest of the way in. It was against the L.A. Raiders, 1994. Jumped in the stands, 28-0. First Lambeau Leap.
Wow.
Standing right there.
Cool.
But yeah, it was grandfathered in. But yeah,
so it's not really grandfathered in; it's fathered in because
now everybody else is
okay.
Everybody else is doing it now. If you got it stands you can jump into, everybody's doing it,
and that's not for charity.
I just think if you're doing a limbo like last night, which was awesome, you can jump in a kettle. Give me a break.
Exactly.
I mean, it's kind of like mascot humor. It's like if we're gonna get crazy with this stuff, that's not that crazy. Just jumping in a kettle for a second, not a big deal. Not a big deal.
All right, Tony in Atlanta, you're next up on Talking Cowboys.
Take us
Hello,
out of
Tony.
the kettle.
Hey guys, good morning.
Good morning.
I know everybody's doing well.
Thank you.
So here's my concern kind of question. The last couple of games, we've gotten up by double digits at Atlanta, and next thing you know, they roared back and tied the game, and we had to kick a field goal late. And then Washington, we got up double digits, and, they came back and made things a little uneasy. Just from what you all are seeing, are they is the defense loosening, or are these offenses just kind of turning up the voltage, and we're not adjusting, to them? I'm just kind of concerned, I'm not thinking we're going to get up by 10 on Thursday, but, I'm just kind of concerned with, when they get up, double digits, that they're not, putting a foot on the gas and putting these teams away. They're letting them back in and making things uneasy. Thanks.
Well, they got back in because of the kettle. And not covering the kick properly.
Yeah, right.
And that made it 31-20 with 11:43 left in the fourth. And then the Cowboys came up with an interception on the next Washington possession.
Right.
So
it's a fair question.
And actually, the offense took care of 6
yeah.
minutes of the clock in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. But it is a fair question. We all do. This is stupid for me to say, but we all feel better about this defense when they have a double-digit lead. It seems like that's why we were so concerned about, missing field goals in Philadelphia and stuff like that. I was sitting there going, my gosh, I was telling Nate, I go, get this thing to double digits. They got a chance to win. Dallas offensively, like you said, Bill, can take time off the clock running the football, so you can protect the lead a little bit better. They're accustomed to playing that way.
And you keep your best player involved too.
Yes,
Zeke,
yeah. But I just think there's some teams that, I didn't expect no, Carson Wentz moving the football, that's different than Colt McCoy moving the football. Carson Wentz, I expect him to move the football. I really do. I mean, with that tight end and receivers they got and the quarterback, the way he throws the ball. But,
and Matt Ryan as
yeah,
well.
Matt Ryan as well. I think you're just, you're talking about guys that's their job. I mean,
and Drew Brees this coming Thursday.
Yeah.
He's going to move the football.
I'm sure somebody in Washington or in Philly were going, or in Atlanta were going, God, how does Dak Prescott move the ball? I mean, they probably didn't see that one coming, but, good for him. I just think defensively they put themselves in the position to make some plays like Mickey was asking the other day or today, and they just haven't really followed through, some of the, like they needed to. Getting that key sack strip, something to kind of turn the game around, to keep people from driving it on them.
And a little bit in the fourth quarter, when you have a double-digit lead, you're also playing defense against the clock.
Yeah.
You don't want to give up anything big.
Keep them in
bounds.
In the Atlanta game, game, you didn't have enough defensive linemen. That hurts you a lot.
That's true.
That hurts you. I felt like it hurts you a lot in that game.
How about the run defense in this game against the Redskins?
Yeah, that's what you got to do, because the Redskins want to play the same way you do. They want to run and play action and throw the ball down the field if they can. But
the first time around they ran for 132 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
Peterson had very little room to run most of that game. Yeah, that was second time
that's
around.
Exactly.
They were actually punishing him.
Yeah. Well, you need to. Whatever that run defense was, needed to bring it up this week. Bring it with you. Whatever.
It's a different cat this time.
A couple different cats.
Yeah.
All right, we take more of your calls here on Talking Cowboys in just a moment.
If you're like me and you love... if you have a thing, then cutting the cord is scary. But then I found out I could switch to DirecTV Now and still get the live sports I love. No satellite needed, no bulky hardware, no annual contract, just...
Get the live sports you love. Try DirecTV Now for $10 a month for 3 months. Visit DirecTVNow.com. DirecTV Now. More for your thing. That's our thing. Use code REALDEAL. Limited time. Price for little package. After 3 months, renews monthly at full price. Currently minimum $40 unless canceled. Prices may change. New subscribers only. Cancel anytime. Content varies by package and may be limited. Restrictions apply.
It's time for tailgating with the OtterBox boys.
The OtterBox that builds those crazy protective phone cases?
Yup, and now they're changing the side dish game with the OtterBox Trooper Soft Cooler. Lightweight, mobile, and leak-proof, Trooper is perfect for blitzing a crowded parking lot with a Frito pie.
Amazing. Hey, you think I could fit my 7-layer salmon salad into the Trooper cooler?
Yup, but please don't.
And that's been Tailgating with the OtterBox boys. Learn more about the Trooper soft coolers at otterbox.com.
While a player could look good on paper, it's when he's out on the field that you really find out what he's made of. That's why the Cowboys rely on more than just stats and scouting reports when building their team. When picking a tractor, it's why you should rely on more than just specs and features. You've got to take it out and put it to the test. The Cowboys did when they named John Deere their official tractor. Experience one for yourself. Visit myjohndeeredealer.com/football.
It can be hard to find the right resource for learning about important financial matters. You search how to build savings, you end up reading about the one weird ingredient from supermarkets that can make you taller. That's why Bank of America built BetterMoneyHabits.com, a safe little corner of the internet for answering your financial questions. Full of simple videos and tips, Better Money Habits can show you how to make the most of your money without resorting to random searches that always seem to lead to unbelievable photos of childhood stars grown up. To learn more, visit BetterMoneyHabits.com.
Essilor has been helping Cowboys fans see better since 1972 so they don't miss a moment on the field. Get glasses with Essilor's best vision, clarity, and protection with the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package. 3 innovative technologies in one lens. For a limited time, you can double your lenses for free when you purchase the Essilor Ultimate Lens Package and get a second pair of frames. Find a participating eye care professional and details by visiting EssilorUSA.com. That's EssilorUSA.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Hey, do you want to use what the pros use? Jack Black is the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys. Get your Jack Black Playmaker. That's 4 JB Faves plus a full-size lip balm for just $10, and they'll ship it to you no cost at getjackblack.com. Use Cowboys code.
I just have a feeling after my wife and daughter's Black Friday shopping expedition on Friday that I'm going to get a lot of those products for Christmas.
Jack Black?
Yes, I think I am.
Good for you.
Which is great. It's going to make for a very Merry Christmas.
Did Jack Black have Black Friday?
It was Jack Black Friday.
Yes.
So many dad jokes on this show. It's incredible.
By the way, has your dad ever responded?
He finally got back to me at like 4 o'clock yesterday.
Rob had a tweet. Your dad went to LSU.
Yes.
Or he's an LSU fan. Went to LSU?
Went to LSU.
Okay. And
I'd tread lightly
Rob
there.
had a tweet What did you say?
I texted him at like 11:52 p.m. right after the game ended. I just said, amazing game. Heard back from him at like 4:30 the next day. He just ignored me. Just laid out on me for an entire day. Even Brian came in yesterday morning for practice and was just like, "Hey, congratulations! Some terrible calls, but you guys earned it."
Well, that's like me. My father went to A&M, and
really?
And he's trying to like be all nice to me, and I'm like, I've got to go to work. I'll talk to you later. I didn't want to deal with that. Congratulations, Rob. First time in 8 years.
See, that's backhanded, but hey, I appreciate it.
Might have been the first time if that happened to me to tell my dad to shut the.
Yeah. College football brings that out in people. I think
there's a lot of passion
because you have a sweat equity.
Yeah, it's
allegiance.
4 years, 5 years, 8 years of your life.
It's money. It's it's where you grew up.
Kent, where did you graduate from?
He is trolling today. He's an Aggie.
A pure blood Aggie.
Yeah, you went to school. Where's your degree from?
I got a film degree, and they don't offer that at A&M.
So where's your film degree from?
TCU, sir.
Oh, I see. Thank you very much.
Hey, man, his heart is in College
You
Station.
have to go to the school to be able to root for them.
Just be careful. Yeah. We all have school songs. We play them again.
Hey, Notre Dame is the king of people that are fans that never went there. Yeah. How about that place? People will remind you, Notre Dame. Notre Dame's third in the nation right now. I'm like, you didn't even go to school there. You don't even know where South Bend is.
If you're Catholic, you qualify. You can go. You can root for Notre Dame.
The Holy Cross is available too.
My dad didn't like Notre Dame.
Yeah,
right. Right.
1 year,
Holy Cross.
I can't remember who beat him, and somebody beat him, and my dad goes to confession on Saturday, and basically in the confessional booth he gives the priest a jab on Notre Dame losing, right? And he comes out and starts telling us about it, and my mother's going, "Oh, Jesus." She's making the sign of the cross. You told the priest that? My dad goes, "He's just a man."
It's like the Caddyshack. I'm just a man.
My name is Fred.
So if you know where I get my stuff from, it's the genes.
There you go.
There we go.
All right, let's go to Louisiana and let's check in with Ray. Ray, are you an LSU fan?
Hello, Ray.
Good morning, guys. How are y'all?
Excellent. Good. Thank you, Ray.
Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
But don't worry about getting a call from Louisiana because I'm an American by birth, but a Texan by the grace of God.
All right. There you go.
There we go.
But I got three things I want to ask, and I'll hang up and listen to y'all talk. At the beginning of the year, they said that Jaylon Smith was only at about 85%. I'm wondering, is he at 100% yet, or do we have to look for more come next year? On Joe Looney, with the way he's played this year, I think he's on a one-year deal. Do you think we'll be able to sign him and keep him as a backup, or do you think he'll move on to another team? And as far as the game goes Thursday night, I'm going to go with what Mickey always says. Every time you win a game, you're that much closer to losing one. I don't think the Saints have played the defense as solid as we have. And I think they'll lose that game 31-24.
Okay.
You guys have a good day.
Thank you.
All right,
Jaylon somebody
Smith.
that pays attention.
Yeah.
Someone who agrees with Mickey. He loves
that way you'll have a cellmate at the Saint Asylum.
That's right.
How about Jaylon Smith? How close is he to 100%?
I think we haven't seen the best of Jaylon Smith yet. I think Jaylon Smith is only going to get better. I really do. And this is a complete 180 from where I was 3 years ago. And to his credit, I've said it a bunch, but the doctors, the trainers, everybody was talking about this was the year to kind of take a peek at Jaylon Smith. And my God, Jaylon Smith looks a lot better. I think that he's, you can see the change of direction. You can see the lateral mobility. You can see the forward stuff. We've always seen that. You've seen the ability to cover. You've seen the ability to run. You've seen the ability to blitz. I just think he's going to get even a better feel for how to play defense. And I think that, he's a lot like Leighton Vander Esch, as they're both young and they're both really smart. And they both get it. They both understand, okay, prepare, study, and now go perform. And, he's going to continue to grow in his instincts. As he's growing in his health, I think he continues to grow in his instincts. And I think that's where you're going to see the best of Jaylon Smith coming up. They're going to need him in this game for sure.
Oh, for sure. I don't know if we talk enough about that, the fact that this is his second year.
Yeah.
And he's been here 3 years now, but last year was his first time on the field, and just the more he sees, the more comfortable he's going to be out there. You see it with Leighton, too. Just as the more snaps he gets, the better he gets. And yeah, Jaylon, I think everybody was so focused on his physical recovery last year that nobody really talked about just, I don't know, getting back into football and reading things out there. So, yeah, he's growing week to week, too.
As for Joe Looney, he's under contract next year.
Yeah.
So he would not be a free agent until 2020.
I think Joe Looney's doing a very good job as a backup, and I think that's probably what he is.
So he's got 2019 he's under contract?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So he's not a free agent until 2020.
You got that on there?
With linemen, you really don't worry about that as much.
Right.
He's not 30 yet,
He's not
is he?
30
He's
yet.
28.
No. But see, and has anybody heard any whispers about Travis Frederick next year?
Have not.
Oh, next year.
Next year. I've had people tell, because I've kind of, in my mind, I'm thinking about the draft show and what direction
Need to focus on?
What we need to do. We need to talk about a center. Do we need, I'm trying to, I had someone come up to me and say, they felt like that, and I'm hopeful I'm not putting words in people's mouth, but this guy I trust told me, he says, there's a really good chance that Travis Frederick plays. Because I'm thinking, well, I got to look at a center. I got to find a center. I got to look at somebody. And I don't know how, I hope that's right.
You know what?
I hope that's right.
But to what your thinking was, my thinking on it was, I've got to have a center that would at least challenge Looney for the backup job.
Right.
And if that's the case, then maybe he's good enough. If they get in a bind, they can start.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's wrong to spend a 4th round pick on a center.
Yeah.
I don't think that's out of the question.
They traded for Ehringer, right, before the season started. Can he play center for you, or is he a guard?
He was really a guard. He's
on IR right now. And Redmond right now is a backup center guard type guy.
That's good to remember that, Rob. I was like, ooh.
He's been on IR the whole year.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He got hurt the first day he was here.
Yeah, that's why they brought Redmond in.
Yeah.
I think with Travis, and I haven't.
By the way, practiced. So he's out of the concussion
Yeah, he did.
protocol.
Yeah.
And by the way, at least yesterday, they were numbers wise not very deep on the offensive line.
No, the guys that were playing scout team were also, you're starting with the exception of the center and the right tackle, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't have enough guys to have 2 lines when they practiced.
Right.
When we saw them warming up.
Zach is dealing with that knee and
well, they were all in the field. We were watching them all work on the grass field.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
They were working.
What happened to Suafilo in the game?
He got rolled up on, didn't he?
Ankle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then we'll see on Tyron. The one thing I was going to say about Travis is I haven't heard. I don't think they know. They don't know the deadline or timeline for a return. But we were just talking about Jaylon. This is a much more serious thing than Jaylon's knee. Obviously, this is an autoimmune illness. But I think it's maybe similar in one respect in that it's kind of a nerve situation and you don't know when, but you're just hoping that it gets to a point where everything starts firing again.
Yeah,
that's where they're at. And it's first off his quality of life. That's the most important thing.
Oh no, absolutely. I was surprised again because I was trying to in my mind thinking, okay, when we do start this draft show here in another 6 weeks or so, do we have to start talking about positional like centers?
Yeah.
And the guy's like, well, what Mickey said makes a lot of sense, but I mean, you're thinking about 2nd round center. 3rd round center?
What if I can find somebody that's an upgrade for my backup game day guard center?
Maybe Redmond is that guy.
And maybe he is.
Maybe Redmond's a guy because, maybe they just, they work with Redmond and that's the way they go.
What about 31-24?
As good as this defense has been, to think that they're going to hold them under 30, that would be an amazing accomplishment if they can do that. I mean, this is I think they're 37.2 for the season, New Orleans. Now, we've seen them face the Saints before in a kind of a similar situation. They went out there in 2009. They were 13-0. They were putting up close to 40 points a game, and nobody thought they were going to do that. So you can't say they can't do it, but it's going to be
at New Orleans.
Yeah, but it's going to be an awfully big challenge. There's no question about that.
You're looking at a Saints team that has, starting a month ago, October 28th at Minnesota, won 30-20 against a good Vikings defense.
Yeah.
Against a good Rams defense, it was 45-35.
Yeah.
At the Bengals, it was 51-14. Against the Eagles, it was 48-7, and then against the Falcons, 31-17. So that's how they're playing most recently.
And I went back and I watched the Minnesota game, and I watched the Atlanta game. It's like those teams are driving the ball and are fumbling like in the red zone. Like they're just
that's what happened to Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. They're driving the football, and Julio Jones is like making one of those violent runs through the middle of their defense, and all of a sudden he tries to jump over somebody, gets hit, ball goes flying out, and instead of having the ball on the 14-yard line, it's New Orleans ball going the other way, and they're trying to score right before half. Mm-hmm. And you're like going, my gosh. And, the same thing happened in Minnesota. They create turnovers. I mean, this team, somehow they create turnovers. There used to be a time where this New Orleans team was all about Drew Brees. It's not that way anymore.
They did on some draft picks. And
they've got their defense is legitimate. I mean, they went out and adding Eli Apple at corner was not
in the middle of the season.
Yeah, that's a great move for them. But I say if you can hold them, if Dallas could keep this into a 28-point game, Dallas got a great shot at winning this football game.
For sure, and that's not impossible.
I think they can move the ball in New Orleans. I mean, from what I've seen,
and that, as that great philosopher said, the more you win, the closer you are to losing.
Yeah. What a great philosopher that guy must have been.
I'll tell you, it'd be nice to have David Irving back in this game. And I know there's no indication he's close, but I'm just saying a guy.
What makes you say that?
Because he's 6'7" with long arms.
I get it. What made you say that nice having David Irving back?
I'm just saying it would be nice to get him back for this game to try to collapse the pocket. But
be nice to have Too Tall Jones back too.
Feel free to take your headset off and just start banging your head on the table, just like that.
Just occurred to me
of having David Irving back for this game or Too Tall Jones?
Too Tall Jones.
Too tall. At least we know Too Tall.
You might give Ryan Ramczyk a little trouble out there at tackle.
Okay. No more Irving talk.
No, I'm just saying.
I know.
I think I'm Joe in Flower Mound. I'm mad because
that's what's frustrating about it.
Yeah, it's like and it's high ankle sprain, Brian. It takes 6 to 8 weeks. High ankle sprain, high this, high that. High.
When did he get hurt? When did he get hurt?
Titans week in practice, so it's been 3.5 weeks.
So
it's basically the bye week.
A good recuperation from a high ankle sprain's 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, a good one.
Tennessee, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Washington,
so we're at
New Orleans.
We're at 4 weeks now, right? This would be the 5th week.
Right.
Well, he got hurt. Tennessee.
All right,
it's been
so
3.5 weeks.
Philadelphia, Atlanta, Washington now.
Yeah, so after the bye, maybe.
Then you got 10 days in Philadelphia.
Brian's like, let's move on.
I'm saying that would be reasonable.
Yeah. I'm just saying, though, is, the way that when we ask the coach about him, the coach kind of gives you, well, we'll see. It's not like, he's getting closer. We hope to have him back this, our office is overlooking practice field. I see Austin out there. I see Sean Lee out there. I see Suafilo out there. I see Smith out there. I see all these guys out there.
And we're in Frisco now, so we don't see Irving anymore.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Dad joke.
Dad joke. You need a drop for that.
Go take care of your grandkid.
Yeah. All right. In fact, we're leaving the hospital and headed home about noon today. I think that's exactly what I'll do, or else I'll finish putting up Christmas lights.
Are you the driver?
I think they've got a designated driver.
You got a designated?
Yeah, thank God.
He's going to call Uber.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you tomorrow on Talkin' Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?